Hey everybody, my throat is still killing me, but I'm gonna do this anyways. Last night I saw Dolittle, directed by Stephen Goggin. This movie stars Robert Downey Jr., Antonio Banderas, Michael Sheen, Harry Collette, Emma Thompson, Rami Malek, John Cena, Kumail Nanjiani, Octavia Spencer, Tom Holland, Craig Ferguson, Ray Fiennes, and Jason Mantzoukas. This movie is an absolute train wreck. I don't think it would be enjoyable for 3-year-olds, let alone people my age. It's not funny, it's not enjoyable, it barely makes any sense, and it's honestly has one of the strangest endings I have ever seen in a major Hollywood production. So let's start off with what I would have rather seen. The movie starts off with an exposition heavy animated segment covering what happened leading up to this film. In the animation, I thought in this segment was beautiful, and I would much rather have seen a completely animated movie done in this style compared to the 80% CGI movie we got anyways. All of the environments are done in front of a green screen and it looks terrible. You can tell the aspect ratio has been shaved off and shots have been zoomed in or framed in a way to leave the least amount of space as possible around the actors to focus and distract the audience away from what's going on screen, to keep them away from thinking, oh wow, that looks pretty bad, this environment looks pretty bad, that ocean looks pretty bad, this courtyard looks bad. That's all it is. And the animals look terrible on top of that. They're on screen so little it's easy to ignore them and have the audience completely duped into the idea they don't actually really exist. And God forbid an actor needs to interact with one. It's clear that the rumors were true about the director being a hack fraud who didn't know where he was going to place these CGI animals on screen, and simply just added them wherever it seemed to fit his fancy. And it's obvious at times where it feels like the Affleck duck is peeking at the bottom of your screen, much like it would in a football game when something pops up right below the football ticker. You know what I mean? It's distracting and strange. And on top of that, if a character needs to physically touch an animal, it's some of the worst mapping I have ever seen. And at one point, I let out a scream of anguish during this movie at how atrocious it looked. As for the acting itself, I'm going to tackle the voice acting and physical acting together in the same segment. The voice acting is lazy and bad. Rami Malek and Selena Gomez feel distant and not really like they gave a shit at all about what's going on. And in fact, nobody really does in this entire movie. Every line of dialogue feels as if it was his first recording, and the actors saying their lines are doing it for the very first time. And they simply did not bother to do a second take. And frankly, Robert Downey Jr. puts on a flat-out strange performance. His accent is indecipherable from what it should be or where he could be from, and any discerning characteristics of Dolittle are almost non-existent. And the entire character just feels weird. And like I said before, it feels like he's acting against nothing in these scenes, making sense considering there was no real direction on where other characters or these fake CGI animals were going to be. So he at times is just looking into the distance, not really sure what he's supposed to be looking or acting against. And the editing is all over the place. Entire segments feel as if they have been completely removed from the film, and it jumps around so much it's hard to get a grasp on anything that's going on screen. And every line from a live action character feels as if it has been added in post production through an ADR style, especially Robert Downey Jr. It's blatant every time they cut away from him and he's supposed to be saying something that he was not actually saying it in that scene on that day. The story stinks, the character design is appalling, the script is clunky, and everything is just weird about this film. I mean, for Christ's sake, the climax is Dolittle giving a colonic cleanse to a fucking dragon. Let me repeat that. The climax of this film, the big character moment, is Robert Downey Jr. pulling armor and bagpipes out of the ass of a dragon while it farts in his face. I've never seen a more misguided and directionless film. 2.7 out of 10.